Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So there's a large community in Chosika, a custom-made temple, like Indian-style temple. And there were maybe 100 devotees living in that community. And Guru Maharaj felt sick, but really tried his best to give as many classes as possible. So I remember traveling out of Lima in the plane. He told me, because we stayed there about 4 days. So he told me, well, actually, wasn't so bad. I only lost one lecture. So despite being sick, I mean, at one point he had to stay in bed, but otherwise, in 4 days, he only lost one lecture. I remember in Slovenia, the capital of Slovenia is Ljubljana. He would go there also, yes, disciples. And the devotees there said that he will do in one day as much interaction and outreach as other leaders, other sannyasis or guru will do in 1 week. Because many other, and of course, this is not obvious, it's not denigrating anybody. I'm just saying that's what the temple leader told us, that other sannyasi come, stay in the room, do their thing, do their devotional service, communication, then they get to give a class or two. But Guru Maharaj, every day is full of things, morning walks with the devotees in the park, a Bhagavatam class, evening class, meeting with the devotees, seminars. Every day was super packed. In fact, I remember one day in Ljubljana, after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever, very late, the temple was still, everybody was sleeping. It was just Guru Maharaj and myself in his room. And so he fell asleep on a chair. It was a desk and a chair. So he just fell asleep on the chair. And I was in a dilemma because I was thinking, this maybe midnight or something like that. So I was in a dilemma. Should I call him up so they can sleep in the bed and rest properly instead of being in a chair? But I was afraid that if I call him, he will start working again. He will open his the computer and do some emails. So finally, I decided I will not call him. And so he was sleeping on this chair, and I went to bed in another room. So in the next morning, he told me, "You should have called me." Sorry, Guru Maharaj. I try to be the best. I try to do the best. I just made that decision, but it was a wrong decision. Sorry. So I mean, I could go on and on talking about different adventures. Like the time in Atlanta, we were so late at the flight that actually the door of the flight was closed. We had to bang on the airplane door. And the pilot, the hostess opened, what's going on? Sorry, we're late. So we somehow got inside. So there are so many experiences, but I also wanted to say something historically relevant. You see, in Gaudiya Vaishnavism and in any Vaishnavism, there is, or in any religious organization, actually, there is a theology, there is the philosophy, and then what is called missiology. This may not be a very common word, but is in the dictionary. Missiology means the study of the mission of a religion, spiritual group, a particular philosophy, how certain people, certain representative of that religious group strategized the spreading of that message. And I want to say that Guru Maharaj is extraordinary, not only for his personal qualities and the numbers of temples he opened or his disciple opened, the number of the deities installed, the number of disciples and devotees he made, but he is also extraordinary in terms of missiology, in terms of giving a vision to do the movement, how to develop congregational development, how to develop Namahata. And it's not by chance, I believe, that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur made the prophecy. And I believe that everything indicates that that prophecy was about Guru Maharaj. Because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's famous for his prophecies. He said that devotees from all over the world will come and they will sing Jai Sachinandan at the place of Lord Chaitanya's birth. Then he envisioned a great temple where is in Antardvip and so on. And he also said that there will be a Jayapataka, a victory flag of the Sankirtan movement. Now, somebody may say, well, it's just a symbol, a victory flag, but he is the Jayapataka. That's his name, right? And he is the person who codified the next step of the movement. Because when Srila Prabhupada was present, he had to establish a beachhead. He was the first pioneer in the West. He had to start training devotees, opening temples, and the movement at the time of Srila Prabhupada was mostly a residential movement. People were living in the ashram, in the temple. Being Hare Krishna meant you live in the temple. Very rarely somebody will live outside and the devotees would see them even as, okay, they're not so sincere, they're not so serious. Of course, Srila Prabhupada planted the seed, gave the instructions on how the movement should later become. He knew this is just a phase. Guru Maharaj explained once they were walking in Los Angeles with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada showed the church, and he said, this was 68 or something like that, so early in the movement. And Srila Prabhupada said, you see, our movement will become like this. There will be a church, there will be a temple, some devotees inside the temple, and then the majority of the devotees will be living at home and visiting the temple. So Srila Prabhupada knew, but it is Guru Maharaj, his own is Jayapataka Maharaj, who codified that vision, who codified the vision in the Namahata, he codified the vision in Bhakti Vriksha. It's all based on the acharyas, based on the tradition. Lord Chaitanya himself said in Chaitanya Bhagavata that 5 or 10 of you sit at home, clap your hand, and chant Hare Krishna. The idea of groups, small groups. I'm not sure important how you organize yourself, but in many places they have Bhakti Vrikshas. And of course, in Bengal, Orissa, Assam, there is a lot of Namahata. The difference being that the Namahata generally is for villages, and they replicate the function of a temple because they are in the countryside. And Bhakti Vrikshas are groups in the city. Even here in Dallas, they have 16 groups. Frankly speaking, between us, they're not strictly Bhakti Vrikshas because they don't put all the ingredients, all the elements, but they call them Bhakti Vrikshas. So they follow this. I remember it was about 25 years ago when Guru Maharaj, assisted by me, we were traveling and giving this 5-day Bhakti Vriksha course, and we came to Dallas. He didn't have always 5 days, so what we would do is that I would present, say, the first 3 days, so then he would come for the last 2 days. Or he would come for the first 2 days, then I would continue for the next 3 days. And we did this in a number of places. We did it in New Jersey, we did it here in Dallas. Once we did it also in Belgium, in Bangladesh. So historically, he is the leader after Srila Prabhupada who codified congregational development, who codified community building along the lines of the Chaitanya Sampradaya and along the lines of Srila Prabhupada instructions. Srila Prabhupada spoke about this having having small groups. For instance, even in the Bhagavatam itself, in the third canto, Srila Prabhupada says that every householder who is initiated by a sannyasi should spread Krishna consciousness at home. And spreading Krishna consciousness means bring your neighbors, bring your friends, bring people you're cultivating a relation with, chant Hare Krishna together, and then talk about the books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada certainly gave the model, but it is Jayapataka Maharaj. It is Guru Maharaj who codified the model through the Namahata, especially in India, Bhakti Vriksha all over the world. And this has transformed the way devotees are living the Hare Krishna experience. Even here in America, of course, we see that most devotees obviously are living at home. Even those around the temple, they live at home, then they come and serve in the temple. Very few people live in the temple as ashram residents. And it's not saying this is better than the other thing. It's just that it's a new model that Guru Maharaj helped clarify, empower, legitimize. Because before, I remember when we started this 5-day course on Bhakti Vriksha, the first day was just to, I'm talking about more than 25 years ago. So the first day was dedicated to impress the devotees that those who are devotees at home, they are also devotees. Because after Srila Prabhupada, there are certain cultures, there are certain nomenclature that started happening, like saying part-time devotees. But being a devotee is not a job. It's not a job that you have part-time or full-time. Like being, say, a Christian. You're not part-time Christian or full-time Christian. Either you're a Christian or you're not a Christian. You may be at a different level of absorption, dedication, commitment, practice. But it's not, you cannot say really part-time devotee. It's not that you are part-time only from, say, 4 o'clock to 9, then you're not devotee. So these nomenclatures that they are not there from Srila Prabhupada. They're kind of new invention. In some parts of the world, the devotees started calling those devotees who live at home friends of Krishna. Not devotees of Krishna, friends of Krishna, in the sense that they're not real devotees, but they're friends of Krishna. They are favorable, they're around, they come from festivals and so on. But now we know. I mean, I've never been to Portland, but there are devotees, of course, initiated, second initiated, very dedicated, who live at home, they work, they maintain their families, and they're not less devoted or less devotees than a devotee who for some time lives in a temple. So this whole cultural shift has been taking place, I would say, especially by the efforts of Jayapataka Maharaj. So I have only 4 minutes left. Thank you very much for your time. Maybe if somebody has a question or he wants to ask me specifically to talk about something for 3-4 minutes, I will take that question or the comment or that request, and then my time will be up. Anybody wants me to go a little deeper in any aspect? Of course, we could talk hours and hours and hours and hours, but I only have 3 minutes. So anybody wants a particular focus or particular question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you please talk about how a Bhakti Vriksha should be conducted as per Jayapataka Swami Maharaj? And also, the other question is, I really liked your last few sentences, how you were trying to define a devotee as per how it evolved. So can you please talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, I mean, a little bit more because I only have 3 minutes. So yes, see, devotion, obviously, it's a practice. I mean, we even have Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, such a great acharya. who live at home. He had many children. He had a full-time job, full-time meaning, full responsibility as a magistrate. Srila Prabhupada was a pharmacist. He had his workshop for many years. He had his family. So it's really not a question. It's called Grihastha Ashram. It's a very bona fide ashram, very legitimate ashram, and it is the ashram which is most recommended and most conducive for most human beings. Okay, so I'll stop there about that. So certainly we cannot just judge in a less way devotees who are grihasthas. And of course, every grihastha has to, especially initiated grihasthas, to follow the vows, has to follow the promises of initiation, chant their 60 rounds, use their free time wisely for learning, for propagating. That's a different discussion. But certainly we cannot say they're part-time devotees. That's a misnomer. As far as Bhakti Vriksha, thank you for the question. There is a book. It's called Bhakti Vriksha Manual. You can get it at the website ISKCONcongregation.com. That's ISKCONcongregation.com. And you see under programs, there is some explanation of Bhakti Vriksha. And then at the shop, you find the book, Bhakti Vriksha Manual. I have 1 minute to talk, so what can I say? There are different elements for a successful Bhakti Vriksha. And sometimes we call any group Bhakti Vriksha, but they don't work, so they don't give the result of Bhakti Vriksha, the expansion and the all fruits of Bhakti Vriksha. So I suggest you read that book, and I'm still working in the ISKCON Congregational Development Ministry. I am responsible of the division called ISKCON Community Life. So if you like to have more discussion on Bhakti Vriksha, we can arrange another Zoom call. We could arrange some seminar online. I'll be very happy to spend some time with all of you, those who are interested, and discuss in depth what is Bhakti Vriksha and what is not Bhakti Vriksha. Everything is absolute when devotees come together, glorify the Lord, take prasadam. Everything is beautiful and nourishing. But obviously, different models give different effects, different results. So Bhakti Vriksha is designed in a way that devotees ideally advance very quickly, and also they take leadership. So that it's a process of empowering people, empowering devotees. But it needs to be applied with a certain rigorous mindset and standards. So my time is up. Thank you so much for inviting me. All the best for the next part of this program. And as I said, if you want to discuss more about Bhakti Vriksha or anything else, let me know. Hare Krishna.